G'day guys and welcome back to another episode on the podcast. Today we're focusing a lot on inflammation, and this only really became, important and came up to me when I was having a lot of stomach issues the other day, or before when I was writing down the script for this episode, and it made me just curious and search up and go through TikTok about all these gut issues and inflammatory issues that I was going through and seeing symptoms and whatnot for it. And I came across a lot of Gary Brecker videos, which he is like this big health guru who used to do a lot of work with, the government on understanding why people are passing away. And a lot of the time it's with diet and inflammatory and health issues that can be preventable. And he's basically just releasing all of this information that's really important for people to know that can help change people's health outcomes and lives overall. And yeah, if you're watching the YouTube video, my finger's completely stuffed at the moment. I think I've torn ligaments in my hand or in my finger, and I've got to have this big fat thing on the entire time. So it's been quite frustrating to use, but I'll just have to get used to it, honestly. It's just something I have to live with now until I potentially have to get surgery, but that's for another episode. I guess to start off with this episode, from the basics, what is inflammation? So inflammation is basically an immune response in your body. When your body triggers something that could be a threat, it causes inflammation to fight against it, basically. So when you eat something that's foreign to your body or something that just shouldn't be inside of you, your body becomes inflamed in that area, especially in the gut when you swallow something. So, for example, we'll just say Macca's. It's typically super ultra processed. It's not really meant for your body. There's a lot of ingredients and nutrients in Macca's that your body, how it was biologically created, is not meant to be used to. And so what your body will do is your gut will become inflamed and you'll have some sort of gut issues and feel sick afterwards because it's your body trying to fight off what it perceives is as a threat from the ingredients in Macca's. And it's basically an example, like every time I eat KFC, I always feel disgusting afterwards. It tastes amazing in the moment. Like, I love a bloody Zinger box and it tastes so good in the moment, but afterwards I feel so sick. And the reason why that is because your body is trying to fight against what they think it's a threat. It's bad for your body is basically what your body's trying to say, and that's why you feel bad most of the time after you eat junk food. One of the big things that I realize, especially when you eat bad food, is mentally it stuffs you up a lot. I always find that whenever I eat junk food, I always feel like so much brain fog and I've got no idea what's going on. My memory sucks. My conversations are horrible. I can't put words together properly. And it's because when your body, your gut microbiome is connected to your brain, your gut-brain axis, basically. And basically, it's the food that you eat can affect all other aspects of your entire body, right? And a study done, it shows that chronic inflammation predicts depression and anxiety. And about 27% of people with depression show high signs of C-reactive protein, which is a inflammatory indicator. And so there's been studies on 500,000 people on how their inflammation in their body affects their mental health. And it shows that a lot of the time, people who experience depression and anxiety and any mental health issues or disorders, they have high links to inflammatory guts. Their guts are usually inflamed from the food that they're eating. And this doesn't go to say that every single person who has depression and anxiety is going to have an inflamed gut, because that can come from any aspect of life. It can come from what's going on at home, to relationships, to their own losses, or just being overly stressed out by work or school. Or there's so many different things that can affect your mental health. But in this case, a lot of the time, people who have, let's say, everyday jobs, works a 9 to 5, has their whole family there, has a good relationship with their mates, if they eat a lot of junk food, they're typically going to experience mental health problems a lot more likely than someone who doesn't typically have a lot of inflammation problems in their gut and also has the exact same situation, but they eat more whole foods and exercise more and they do these healthy habits because their gut's not becoming inflamed and it's not affecting the functioning of the muscles in the brain. And obviously, when we talk about your gut and your gut health and whatnot and the inflammation in your gut, there's obviously going to be physical health issues. So chronic inflammation accelerates aging and it drives diseases like diabetes and heart disease and dementia. Whereas anti-inflammatory therapies, this can be diet, this can be medication, whatnot, this reduces like cardiovascular risk and all these other health risks that come along with it. Physically, low-grade inflammation is one of the biggest drivers to chronic diseases and aging. And inflammation, it not only causes aging, but it accelerates neurodegenerative diseases. This can be like dementia, for example, is a really common one that happens because with the gut-brain axis, it's connected to all your muscles in your brains. It causes your brain to not work to its potential. And so with Alzheimer's or dementia, it can cause your brain to just malfunction, basically. So your memory is just wiped out as you age. It decreases your memory ability over time. One thing as well that I realize whenever I eat junk food or eat poorly is that I don't feel great after like doing exercise as I normally would. Say I go for a run, I guess after I have a shit meal or just have some junk food, I never feel that good after I go for a run. Whereas when I eat well and train well and like my preparation, all that stuff is good, and then I go for a run, I always feel way better and feel way happier after I go for a run in that kind of scenario. And it's because with inflammation in your gut, and I keep going on about this gut-brain axis, but it can then affect how your emotional regulation and your emotional, like your dopamine is released. It's not to as a great of an extent compared to when you're eating healthy and your gut's not inflamed. And there's a chronic inflammatory disease called rheumatoid arthritis. And it's basically an inflammatory disease, so it's related to your gut. And it shows that people with this disease are far more likely to experience depression and anxiety, not just because of pain or disability, but because inflammation itself interferes with mood regulation. And so this entire episode is basically just about how fucked inflammation in your gut can be for your overall health. I've gone through like the key pillars of health. I've gone through your mental, your physical, and your emotional pillars of health with examples of how inflammation changes that. And it just goes to show how important the food that you eat and the things that you put into your body actually are. I typically try to eat well most of the time, and I notice like a huge spike in my mood when I'm eating poorly, like a poor spike, sorry. Like I see a huge deviation from my mood from when I eat poorly to when I eat really well consistently. And so I guess the things that you can do to change this, because it's good and all to make problems and say what's wrong, but if you can't make changes, then what's the point of talking about it, and what's the point of yapping on about it? There's no sort of solution. And I guess the easiest way to start and to better your inflammation in your body is literally just to start. Start by changing out the cereal in the morning for some whole foods like eggs or a smoothie. Or start by just changing your snacks, or include a walk after your meals. When you walk after your meal, it helps with your digestion and getting your food out because your body's still moving, it's active. Whereas when you're sitting down and doing nothing, it takes a lot longer for your body to digest because it's not needing the foods that you're eating or the nutrients that you're eating as energy. And so it's really important to go for walks after your meals. Or you can just start to exercise more. again, with the energy concept, when you're moving more, your body needs to burn more of the food and needs to digest more of the food. If it's sitting in there, it's going to take longer for your body to digest and you're not going to feel as great. I think it's really important to immediately, when you're wanting to be healthier or try and like fix something in your life, look at the things that you can control. Is my diet been shit? Yes, alright, I might need to change that. Have I been exercising properly? Probably not. Have I been out socially? Have I been like just go for a walk and a coffee with my mate? Not really. Okay, well maybe I need to get outside more. I need more vitamin D. I need more serotonin and dopamine from getting to talk to people. Trying to focus on little things and little steps like that, I think make getting healthier so much easier. And I think a lot of the time people just try to go all eggs in one basket, full pelt, just put a brick on the pedal, and they always just end up burning out. Whereas if you just increment these things slowly at like one step at a time, it makes it a lot easier to stick to everything. I found that when I was trying to first start to get healthy, I was like 15 or 14 and I didn't know what I was doing. So I would go to the gym 5-6 times a week. I would run, I would play footy. I would not really focus that much on my diet, but I'd do so much exercise and then I'd just get so burnt out. I'd stop exercising. I'd still eat the same meals I would usually. And then I'd gain the weight back and I would feel sluggish and really unhealthy. And my clarity was just non-existent. I was never clear in my mind. And that's probably the biggest thing as well that I found when I started focusing a lot on eating whole foods and trying to eat well most of the time, is that my clarity and my mental clarity and my focus and memory is a lot better now, except for my directions. My awareness and directional, I guess, expertise is fucking horrible. I've got no idea where I am half of the time. But I say it's just because of my concussions. I think that's fair enough. But a lot of the time, it is related to your food. And it's really cool to think about how, and weird as well, that everything that you do with your body and your health and everything you put into your body and what you do exercise-wise, it is all connected and it all compounds over time. And so that's why I say the best thing to do to start is just to start. The longer that you procrastinate and fluff around, the longer it's going to take for you to start and the more it's going to keep compounding over time. A lot of this stuff that we worry about now is literally invisible. And so it's best to just try to do the best things for you and trying to do the right things immediately so that you don't have to keep thinking about it all the time. Because a lot of the time when you can't see something that's a problem, it becomes more worrying. So basically, to close it off, start working on your diet. It can be fucking boring at the start, but you'll find ways to make it interesting. Try doing it with a mate, I find, is the best way to start doing things like this. But obviously, like, just start. Like, I think it's the best thing for you. Changing your diet up is the best way to, I guess, improve your overall health and lifestyle. So that brings us to the end of this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed learning about inflammation and how this stresses out the body and impacts the body. And then, yeah, we'll see you guys next week.